The question is, what inspired you to go raw vegan, and how did it improve your health? My entire childhood was riddled with illness, from pneumonia to typhoid fever to tuberculosis. And by the time I was a young adult and an adventure anthropologist living out of a backpack in Asia, in the wilderness, I had been ill for 2 decades, the majority of my life. I had never known what it was like to have clear nostrils, because I assumed that having a cold was natural. And so it was astounding to me up high in the Himalayas when I contracted pneumonia once again after several months of bronchitis, and I was dying, and there was a book called Yogic Cures to Common Diseases. I opened it to the pneumonia page by cosmic accident, perhaps, and it said, do Kunjal Kriya and drink only raw vegetable juices until your pneumonia is gone. I thought that is a crazy idea, but it was no more crazy than the antibiotics that the Ayurvedic and the allopathic Western doctors were dosing me with. So I tried to go off the antibiotics, and I tried this, and within 3 days, not only was I clear of the pneumonia, which is miraculous if you know pneumonia, but I also had more clarity in my mind and stronger in my body than I had ever felt for many years. And that is what first spurred me on. But then I forgot that the raw juices were so good for me, and I went back and started eating the Indian fried rice again, became ill again, and kind of bounced back and forth until I realized, why not just stay on the healthy diet as Hippocrates had suggested? Our next question is, what do you recommend eating for raw vegan-friendly people on the go?
Eating raw foods on the go is always a bit of a challenge, but it's not insurmountable. I mean, if you're traveling like internationally or something, then it becomes a little bit more difficult, but if you're just kind of around town, there's just all kinds of little tricks that you do to support yourself. Like you have a cooler in your trunk that's actually plugged into your electricity of your car, so you can always stick, your food in the cooler, and it's always there, fresh, wherever you go. There's a lot of products in the market nowadays, dehydrated products, dehydrated at less than 118 degrees, so the enzymes are still alive. Kale chips, corn chips, all kinds of dehydrated things that are out there. If you get those, then you can carry those with you. But there's a lot of things that you can also just make yourself really easily and quickly. I just did a demo upstairs. I showed people how to make a kale salad, and I literally had a thing of kale, an avocado, a lemon, and a little sea salt, and I made a kale salad right there, and it was really good. Right, Darky, you had some afterwards. It's good. It's simple. Some of the best raw foods are the simplest raw foods. And then there's farmers markets all around nowadays. We're blessed to be living now, as opposed to 20 years ago you couldn't even find organic food. So we have a lot of support to eat raw foods that we never had before. And there's of course restaurants all over the place. But dehydrated foods, carry avocados with you wherever you go, because most restaurants have a salad, and then if you top it with an avocado, then you can kind of make it passable. There's just a lot of little tricks like that. Carry nuts with you, that kind of thing.
I agree with all of that. And may I add that if you do want to get healthy and have a long, healthy life, you have to make a commitment to yourself, and that's the first thing. So even if you're a busy person or mom and working and everything, you have to dedicate some time to yourself in order to eat raw food. You can just grab a banana, you can grab a fruit, you can eat nuts. It's all salads, very simple. But if you really want to stay on this, you have to learn how to make some food for yourself, like food you used to like when you were eating a regular diet. And I just think it takes a transition. You have to learn a couple good dishes or go-to dishes that you can have that really are satisfying for you. I mean, we eat fabulous desserts. We can make all kinds of desserts. We make lasagna and pastas out of zucchini noodles. All the food we make is incredibly healthy. But getting a few recipes under your belt, I think, is really important thing about being able to stay raw. When I'm traveling, I make these veggie patties and I put them between cabbage leaves, and I make about 5 when I go on a trip, and sometimes I eat 2 at the airport before I even get on the plane. They're so good. I can't wait once I pack them up. But there's so much food in the raw food world that you can fix for yourself. The major thing I think for myself is green drinks. You must fix yourself a vegetable juice, a green drink with spinach, celery, cucumbers. You can put apples in there. There's so many smoothies and green drinks around. And if you're busy in the morning, you have to leave for work, it's best to drink it fresh. But if that's the only way you can get it is to make it at night, put it in a mason jar, then that's a good thing to have. Honestly, a green drink can hold you through most of the morning and early afternoon. Then if you can get a big salad somewhere, you're in. You've got a really good day of good food in your body. And to me, dark leafy greens, kale salad, and green drinks are probably top on my list. But learn to make a few recipes. They're great.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I make a huge Vitamix full of my green smoothie in the morning, and I just put it in a bunch of jars, take it with me in the car. That's pretty much what I drink all day. Lately, I've been in a different airport almost every day, and there's bananas and apples at these places. So what if it's not 100% organic? I mean, it's a banana. I mean, it's better for you than a hamburger, right? I mean, come on. So, I mean, drink some water from a water fountain, and fast. All I do on an airplane is sleep. It's the best thing for you. And then you get off the plane, you find a restaurant, and every restaurant's got something healthy on there. Just look at the side dishes. It's usually something, asparagus or mango or something, and they must have an onion in the back, you know. I mean, this isn't rocket science. It's not that hard. I mean, I have a bag of spiced cashews in my bag. I take it with me wherever I go. I eat like a squirrel. You know, the longest living people don't eat much. So whatever it is you do eat, just make it something that you find in nature. It's common sense.
I agree with what all they're saying, and what I want to just parlay on is what Marcus just said, which is when you start eating foods that have not been cooked over 118 degrees, they are nutrient dense. You don't need a lot of food. Everybody here, I'll start out my morning with green juice, and then after that I'll make a smoothie, and I'll take that with me to the gym, and I work out for several hours in the gym every single day. I'm not hungry when I leave. I am so nourished by that. And then there are very creative ways. One of the things I want people to know about living foods, and I like to use the word living foods, not raw food, is because people think I'm going to hand them a carrot stick and a celery stick and say, have a nice day or have a nice meal. And it really isn't that. Rod has an outstanding restaurant right here in Los Angeles with delicious food. I'm banging on his door several times a week saying, hey, feed me, please. And there's so many delicious options all over the place for living foods. And so just start. I would say start with drinking it. For me, if you can put so many nutrients into a smoothie, and what you're going to notice is the cells of your body will just start tingling. That's what happened for me. I was like, oh, I'm really onto something because I feel so much energy. And I already had a lot of energy, you know, before I started living foods, but it just took it to the next level. So I would say just start with a green smoothie in the morning and just see how that makes you feel. And please have the smoothie before you try the coffee. If anybody here is a coffee drinker, it's so much better. You will not want that cup of coffee once you have a green drink in your body. So.
Thank you. I love cabbage boats. Cabbage is the boat, and avocado and tomato are the people on the boat. And you can make your own variety. Kale boats, chard boats, nori boats, nori rolls. So those are submarines. And bring your own people. Sprouts are wonderful people. I also love to support raw vegan restaurants. So for me, being on the real go, as a lot of you are nodding yes, then sometimes we don't even have a moment to make something, and it's faster to go in. And what's amazing about Leaf Restaurant, and we are not advertising for Rod's Restaurant, it is the first, to my knowledge, raw vegan fast food restaurant. So you actually zip in and zip out. And there are others up and coming, but that is one of the premier ones in Los Angeles. Also, you can fast. Yeah. You can go to farmers markets and surround yourself by like-minded people by having meetups, joining a raw vegan meetup, having a potluck, or just having dinner for two, and just buying a lot of raw food and having an experimental dinner party where you just figure it out and see what happens, and you create a new recipe that's never been concocted before. And then you're on your way to writing your own raw vegan recipe book for people on the go. Next question. And by the way, we're almost halfway through our questions. Therefore, soon it will be an opportunity for you in the audience to ask us whatever questions you like. What's the basis of a healthy raw vegan diet and why?